this second segment of the segment known as A New You for a New Life, which we are now incorporating in our Wake Up and Live with the Arts TV program, which we are delighted that you're watching us tonight and see our next special guest. Gare, we've got two folks representing the Men of Excellence from Cleveland, Ohio. We have to your right Mr. Adam Morgan, who is the CEO of Men of Excellence, sorry about that. And with him is John Dent, who works with the Men of Excellence as well. And do you have a particular role that you play?
Absolutely, Vice
And what
President.
is your role, darling?
Vice President.
Vice President in charge of. And Adam, how did you come to create or get involved with the Men of Excellence?
First of all, I'd like to say thank you for inviting me on your show.
Our delight.
And also, good evening and hotep. First, the organization was founded in 1987 at Kent State University. It was first started as the Men of Excellence. We first started off with four brothers, including myself, Obedem Green, Nick Turner, and Elliot May. It was just some brothers listening
now,
at home.
when you say brothers, are you talking of the culture or of one of the fraternities, such as Alpha, Omega?
Well, I am a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity
Okay.
Incorporated right now, but I wasn't at that time. When I say
Okay.
brothers, I do mean
Our
cultures.
African-American culture.
That is
Okay.
correct.
Mhm.
We were just sitting around listening to things like The Last Poets, Public Enemy, and things of that nature. And so we started not just to talk about what we were doing, but be about it. And so we started to put we organized the organization and put the organization on the campus, and we won Organization of the Year, and that's how the Men of Excellence started.
Well, what
During that
caused
time,
you
we were
to-
at a predominantly Caucasian campus at Kent State University, and we saw that there was a need for African American males to start to take a stand to try to help our young African American brothers. That we found out that we found in the inner city that we needed a helping hand, and so that's where we started this organization.
In what ways do our African American males need helping hands, particularly those of the urban neighborhoods?
Well, a lot of them, including myself, were brought up without father figures, and so that is one of the reasons we wanted to see it as a light fixture or a guiding for these young men to become, so we can guide them into the right direction, because a lot of them don't have father figures, such as I didn't have a father figure, so we wanted to try to be father figures for these young men.
And in your role as a father figure, do you work on instilling ethics, values you do?
We try to cover all the bases. The one thing we try to really deal with education. We believe that education is the key to all doors. We have a program called Vitabu, which is Kiswahili for the word books. We try to get them to read more. We also have a program called Cultivating Weeds, where we have the children write to a P.O. box. They write to us, and the reason we do that is because a lot of times the children don't like to talk to us in person, because they don't want their fellow peers to see what's really on their mind, so they'd rather write to us, and also we can see where their writing skills are, and then we're working on a rites of passage program, so we try to deal with their self-esteem and issues and mental issues as well, so we try to cover all the bases.
Okay. Gary, you're a Kent Stater
They're
yourself.
still on the Kent. Do you still have any involvement in the Kent campus? I know you're doing things at Cleveland State. Do you still have involvement with the Kent campus?
Yes, I'm an alumni of Kent State University, and matter of fact, I talked to Dr. Edward Crosby, who was one of the influential persons that started Black United Students. As well, I was the publicity chairperson for Black United Students and the vice president for Black United Students, so I'm still connected with Black United Students.
Now, you were talking about how important, especially pertaining to two subjects that are close to my heart, which would be reading and writing. I'm an avid reader, and I've been writing for as long as I can remember. What kind of opportunities did you find were available for young people in those two areas?
Well, I believe there's a lot of opportunities there. It's just that the people don't take advantage of these opportunities. A lot of time, even during slavery, we were not allowed to read books, but there are a lot of opportunities. There are a lot of libraries and things of this nature, the internet, but people don't take advantage of that. They're too busy playing Nintendo or Madden. They just don't read. And so, like I said, we have avid readers, but we have people who read but don't read. And so Americans have become lazy. And so there are opportunities to read, they just don't.
Okay, John, now, some of the fellows, the young men that who you work with, where do they come from? What are their age ranges, and how many are you servicing? Is it an annual program, semester program? How does it work?
Basically, the youth that we get They start at ages 8 all the way up to basically adulthood. So our motto is that we assist young men into becoming men and men into becoming better men. Some of our youth come from all walks of life. They come from different areas and different neighborhoods. They matriculate through the justice system, juvenile system, different systems of incarceration. Also, from time to time, we have parents that just call us up on the phone and say, hey, can you mentor my child or talk to my child about basically issues that they're going on with their school and life and things like that. Our program is open-ended and it's open enrollment, which means it's continuous all throughout the entire year until we basically are allowed to help move these youth to self-sufficiency. And with the more parental involvement that we have, the better the program becomes more successful, and the youth eventually becomes solidified where he can basically contribute to society, or basically get him back on the right track.
And about how many fellows come through your program on average, say, in a span of time?
Well, it depends.
Ballpark.
It depends. With some of the initiatives we've had with the Juvenile Detention Center and we've had with some of the school systems, it depends on what the principals send us. It depends on what we have as far as when we do things down at the Domestic Bomb Center, they usually have between about 14 and 20 youth, depending on the cycles they go through there. If we have a program, the VTABU program, which we had down at Lakeview Community Terrace, basically, however many students or youth that we recruited, we started out with 20, we ended up with about 8 because there was no reason for them to basically be there. They can just walk out if they wanted to.
The attrition rate.
The attrition rate is phenomenal, and it's also it's mind-boggling depending on what venue. So, in short, if we have the opportunity to have the youth sent to us because they've been forced to or coerced a little bit to come in, the attrition rate is very low. If it's based on something that they have to do for themselves, voluntarily, then we have a high attrition rate because we really don't have the mechanisms as far as to keep them in place. We preach good education, we preach good ethics, good morals, we preach good mannerisms as far as just being a male, but these things are hard to convince a child that the things that you do today will benefit you tomorrow.
They
so
just
thank you for the
don't see
question.
around the corner.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
Now, you did say moms and parents and adults can call in about your programs and get their young men interested and enrolled, hopefully, and participate.
Absolutely.
What's the best way to contact your organization to do that?
Thank you very much. Yes, they can contact us at 458-2966 or at email address, which is time.imoe@yahoo.com. Also, you can just Google my name, which is Adam Morgan, and the International Men of Excellence, and you can get a lot of information from that.
Well, since we Google, we might as well Google my name too, Mr.
Go ahead,
Morgan.
Google.
Johnnie
Go ahead,
Dent
Google.
at jdentjr.com.
Okay.
So we can do it like that, or also, and that is a 216 area code.
Now, John, you had mentioned a moment ago who are involved. How do you go about trying to get non-involved parents involved in the lives of their young men?
We tread very lightly, but we also move with the hope that there are some parents out there who actually want to see their children succeed. And we really don't have the necessary incentives in place to allow a parent to basically say, my child is going to be here. We can go through any areas in the neighborhood. We're very grassroots oriented, and we do a lot of canvassing, door to door, knocking on doors. What do you need as far as when we talk to the parents? But basically the bottom line is you have to move with the faith that there are some parents who definitely want to see their children do better. And unfortunately, a lot of nonprofit groups especially just say, hey, the parents won't help, so we can't meet the numbers, and they end up closing just like businesses do every single day. We're going to be here up until we basically at least begin to curb some of these things that's going on in the African-American community, especially, and then we'll reach out to other communities. So thank you for the question.
Well, the extended family is a group of older women. What they deal with is younger women. Matter of fact, I think this weekend they're having a program. It's called younger women. They're getting together with younger women and older women, and they're cooking, and they're just fellowshipping with the young ladies. And what they're doing with us, what they're cooking for us at Lakeview Terrace Community Center on November 7th. It will be from 10:30 to 4 o'clock in the evening. And what we're going to do, they're going to cook for us, and the keynote speaker will be Kevin Conwell, Councilman Kevin Conwell. And what we're going to do, we're going to bring a bunch of older men and hopefully bring a whole lot of young men in that community so we can sit down and talk about the issues that are going on with the young men in the community. And hopefully we will hope to have more than 100 people come out that day. So if you're not doing anything, just come on down. We're going to have a lot of good food, a lot of good home good cooking.